Terry, how can our listeners reach you at BodiTrak?
Well, you can call us on our toll-free number at 855-878-4653, and they can find us on our Facebook site under BodiTrak, BodiTrak, and it's BodiTrakSports.com is our website. And we have info at vista-medical.com, but it's easier to hook up on Facebook. BodiTrak, BodiTrak. Thank you.
Terry, I got a question for you relating to technique and footwear. You see a guy like Phil Mickelson who still wears the old traditional spikes, and Tiger wears the spikes. And is there a relationship between the weight guys who transfer their weight?
Oh yeah, I got to tell you, you'll love this because I was in Athens, Georgia a few days back with Scott Hamilton and John Tillery, and Scott sent me a clip of Harris English, two-time PGA winner. I think he won 2.9 million this year. Anyways, to the point, he sent me this trace, and it was, it didn't look that good, to be honest with you. And he knew that. He started to use BodiTrak. He knew that trace wasn't looking good. So he got English to just hit the barefooted. You can't believe the difference in the trace. It was smooth, it was straight back, straight through. And even English said, man, I'm wearing the wrong shoes. And so, we knew this going back. Rob Golden and I visited a major OEM on the Gold Coast there, and when they saw the spikes and the way things looked, they couldn't believe it. And, I'm pretty sure in 2015, I can't say too much, but there'll be some golf shoe manufacturer, and probably a very big one, that's going to launch pressure as part of their fitting programs. It's just too easy. It just makes sense. We're the MRI of golf now, but it's not just BodiTrak. I mean, BodiTrak is my brand, what brand that I believe in, because I work with them when we develop it, but pressure mapping is the way to go.
Terry, I got a question back on the shoes again with Harris English. So he got improvement playing barefoot. Are you saying that his shoes had too much traction?
His shoes, this was a great Scott. I was talking to Scott yesterday, and it really ticked me off. He called me. I've only met Scott, and obviously I dream of all golfers is to play Augusta. So he calls me back yesterday about 5:30, and he says, I'm just leaving Augusta. I was playing with the guys out there. I'm thinking, okay. He says, I wore out my hybrid. Every hole was too long for him. It was wet. Anyways, he goes on to tell me about he moved Harris out of the heel. He had a big heel. I won't say which shoe, which model. I don't want to be unfair to them. But he was using a pair of heavy shoes with lots of heels, about inch heels on it. And it was moving Harris's weight all to his toes. So to compensate, because he's got good balance, Harris would take the club back, too much weight would be on his toes, and then he would move to his heels. And you could see this like a figure-8 pattern. And so now he's got Harris in a pair of shoes that's much flatter, and they work a lot better. And how this got started was, I was saying, I wish I could get Furyk's video or CLP trace, because I don't think he's wearing the right shoes, to be honest. I don't know. I'd love to see it. I think I could. I mean, as successful as he is, we know that the proper footwear will make a huge difference. And I'll make a bet that some manufacturer next year starts offering distance gains by footwear. It just makes sense.
The shoes Harris English is, I know the type of shoes you're referring to that have a really big high heel. I'm 6'5", and I've tried to wear a few of those, and I feel like I'm 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
Is he more of a skateboard type of shoe now, where it's level?
I would, in his case, that's the one that probably would work the best. Yes, I agree. And it's funny, because we as a company, we broke shoes into two categories: mobility and stable. And I've suggested to everybody that if you wanted to gain more distance and you didn't have too much balance issues, if your weight didn't move too much from front to back, you could use a fairly light pair of shoes. But why not use one shoe, your lead foot, use a heavy boot, like a more stable shoe, and use it to create like a brake effect? It works. I tried it. I look like an idiot, but I look like an idiot anyways when I play golf these days. But it worked. But the crazy thing about, I'm not a shoe fitting expert, but I was able to see that right away, and Rob Golden helped me figure that out. And then we went over to see Sasho, and Sasho, he's the genius. But what's really cool, and what I feel like I'm an expert in, is shaft fitting. Let me tell you something, Jeff. We can fit shafts incredibly well, understanding pressure. I'm not talking a little bit. We can fit it accurately.
Well, Terry, I wanted to have you also talk about the next generation of BodiTrak. What does it cost to buy a BodiTrak? And just real quick on shoes, since I worked for 30 years with Tim Venturi, who was a big Ben Hogan guy, we know Hogan made adjustments to his shoes, and I know the adjustments that Venturi made to his shoes. So unquestionably having the right shoe will have an effect on your golf swing. But just give us a little idea what's coming up with BodiTrak, and what does it cost to buy a BodiTrak?
Well, the price right now is $19.95 US, $1,995, and that seems like a lot of money, but it's not when you compare it to what's out there in the market. We use a sensor fabric, and that sensor fabric is a game changer. It does to pressure mapping what GPS did to the map business. It completely changes it, and it makes it completely more affordable. I mean, I used to travel with hundreds of maps with me. I used to fly around the country. Now I just use GPS, and it's crazy. And it's more accurate, and it's the same way with our pressure mat. But where we're going with this is we're integrating to a lot of different software companies. V1 right now, they're going to incorporate all the pressure mapping and the velocity chart into their software on the Pro HD, and eventually that'll migrate down into their other software systems, I'm sure. And we're talking to other software companies. We're integrating. We integrate with FlightScope. And you know, this whole process, we're actually doing something that I think it needs to be done. We're going to make it simpler. And Jim, and you know, my goal before I leave this planet is to make golf the easiest of all the hard games to learn. And that's where I'd like to leave that.
Well, I like the way you said that, you know, the BodiTrak is kind of the MRI of golf. I kind of used through my career by using video in a very specific way with Jeff and all of our, you know, top teachers that we've had, a certain way of teaching so we can see exactly what's going on in the golf swing. And we come pretty close to understanding weight transfer and lateral movement and how much the best players do. But BodiTrak is really, you know, up the standard, you know, and I know how important it is from working with those great players. I spent a lot of time with Sam Snead. We did a DVD together. I went to the Masters with him. I talked to him a lot, and how important he felt footwork was. And it does seem like it's a bit of a lost piece of the puzzle, what people are teaching these days. Anyway, I've just been so excited to have you on the show. We have some great questions. Jeff, I know you'll probably break down and get a BodiTrak and have one up there at the bridge. And I'm looking forward to seeing you here in a couple of days, Terry. I know we got a lot to go over.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, you know, Jim, it's interesting.
Thank you very much, sir.
You know,
Great stuff.
go to see Mr. Grout and work on footwork, rolling the ankles. You know, originally had him working on just rolling the left ankle and rolling the right ankle. And so critical with these old school, and kind of like old school is now new school. Now we just have more sophisticated with that. You know. And as Terry says, hopefully to make it a little bit simpler. I'd like to thank our listeners for joining us here on Golf School with Jim McLean and Jeff Warne. Special thanks to Terry Hashimoto. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. That only took 33 years to get done. Who would have thought that I'd be talking into a computer? And that was absolutely... That's a wrap. Thank you. Oh, Benny, this is a good moment for me because this is all I've done all my life, so I hope that you get a chance to see this one day soon, and I love you, buddy. Oh, Jesus, I'm getting old. That's the ocean back there. The guy moved his truck. I went for a run this morning, I'll go for a run this afternoon. See you later. Love you guys.